that platform in a completely different way. I mean, completely different. One will be telling you, for example, this happened today or this happened yesterday. It was complete daylight. The sun was beaming. And then the same story, you move over to another platform, tell you exact said story, and it was in complete darkness. You couldn't see a thing apart from the moon beaming in the distance. But the information remains the same, short of the artistic license, or some may call it bias, that gets thrown into the mix. Instead, I'm going to talk about something that you could describe as a kind of scandal. Maybe it's, probably very troublesome for the party in question. Now, this is to do with an actual show I saw some weeks back. And it was a CNN panel. They was debating the Kamala campaign and how her performance has been going. Has she been doing enough interviews with the press? And has she hadn't been doing any at that point in time. But basically, they were singing her praises and talking about how well she's doing in the polls. Normal everyday stuff as far as news media is concerned and the legacy networks. So they assembled a panel and they didn't get very far at the early part of the show into the actual discussion. I mean, because the conservative member on the panel failed to describe or pronounce Kamala. I'm not even sure because I'm not really 100% on this. So she pronounced Kamala's name and straight away got pulled up by one of the other panelists, and they stayed on this back and forth for quite a while, debating how she should be described, how you should pronounce her name. And basically he was calling her out and implying that she's, there's some underlying racism involved in when somebody doesn't take the time to try and pronounce her name correctly. The crazy thing about it, I'm sure in the very same said show, some of the other panelists, pro Kamala, you could say, panelists, called out her name in a not so correct way as well. She's got an Indian name, and that's been highlighted on other shows that I've seen that's slightly more balanced, should we say. And I wouldn't say, I wouldn't expect anybody to be pronounce her name perfectly. So this sort of chimes in with some of what you can also observe when you're watching these news stories from these different networks, and this sort of theme from the more I don't know what you describe them as. Just say the race specialists, the professors and experts who kind of police that particular subject on social media, the internet, the news, and wherever else. So to pull it back a bit, this one particular professor, quite a well-known established guy, some notoriety in his field, from what I understand. He's specialist in race and those type of matters. Some would call him a race grifter. I wouldn't use that word myself at this point in the proceedings. Short to say, yes, see exactly what happened. Now, I would just chime in as far as to say that he was thrown under the bus. It seemed almost like a digital honey trap type situation he found himself stepping into. Just before I roll the clip, this is kind of not that far away from the story I wanted to cover about the parallels and the poles apart when you hear a story told in two completely different ways, but it's the same story. In this case, the thing that I've also noticed is that you got a lot of drama when you're seeing these heated discussions, debates, and often arguments on these panel shows, and it looks quite harsh and brutal. And yeah, sometimes it's serious subjects being discussed, and they're entrenched in on one side or the other, and they wanna voice their corner. The thing is, though, just like politicians, I've always suspected that you get all of that drama in front of the camera, and then once the camera's off, the mics are shut off, everybody's buddies again. And it comes back to that, I wouldn't say hypocrisy is the word, that I wouldn't even go as far as saying fake news. It's just that lack of genuineness when you see people going at it, when I'm not even sure if they believe half of the things they're arguing, and in front of the public viewers, and offset their buddies. There's best of friends, or at least, not as, extremely divided as they would give us the impression that they are when they're arguing these talking points. Now, I'm not saying that, these are professionals in many cases, so I'm not saying that they should take their work off stage with them and, be uncivil to their colleagues and somebody you're just having a debate with in a studio and may have different views to. I mean, I'm all for as much of your humanity as possible, bringing that to the surface, dealing with people cordially, politely and respectfully, and to an extent how you would like them to deal with you. Although, again, what we get in the news, which isn't supposed to be a fictional arena, is this high drama, gladiatorial, verbal jousting. And then you're led to believe that these people really believe in their causes and they'll fight to the last tooth and nail. And then behind the scenes, they're all mates and buddies. So without further ado, let's get to it. This is a story that really got my juices going, so to speak.
In the DMs of
one moment.
Nancy Mace. Now,
all right, let me rewind on that.
This wouldn't be that big of a deal if it.
This is the guy in question.
White disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are intending that
Your
I'm
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala Harris
that
is part and parcel.
At this point, I wouldn't think these two people like each other. I know they're at work, they're professionals, they're arguing their corners respectfully. I wouldn't expect them to be passing each other lumps of sugar in the canteen or the green room after the show.
So there you have it. Things got testy. Whether you agree with one or the other doesn't matter. Things got a little bit testy. But according to Nancy Mace, it seems like the two exchanged text messages after that exchange that were a lot less testy. In fact, they were a little, dare we say, flirty. So let's look at the text messages here. It is a photo shared by Michael Eric Dyson with the bubble on the right is Nancy Mace. A photo of them together that seems like it's taken in the CNN lobby. And it says, shh, don't tell anybody. We look good together. Laughy face, kissy face.
Well, you say economical.
Then she responds, ha, 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 ha. And then he responds, well, you're gorgeous.
Okay. What have we got going on here? Right, bear with me again. Just got a little bit of a technicality needs to deal with. We'll be back in business shortly. A few gremlins in the works tonight. Nevertheless, show will go on. I hope. Let me just restart this setup. And we'll be back on momentarily. Just gotta rejig a couple of things. Okay. Anytime now. Alright, here we go.
You don't have to intend racism to accomplish
No. You are intending that
Your
I am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that is
part and parcel.
So there you have it. Things got testy, whether you agree with one or the other, doesn't matter. Things got a little.
And this was all about how she described her name. They hadn't even got into the talking points yet at this stage.
Bit testy, but according to Nancy Mace, it seems like the two exchanged text messages after that exchange that were a lot less testy. In fact, they were a little, dare we say, flirty. So let's look at the text messages here. It is a photo shared by Michael Eric Dyson with the bubble on the right is Nancy Mace. A photo of them together that seems like it's taken in the CNN lobby. And it says, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together. Laughy face, kissy face. Then she responds, ha, 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 ha. And then he responds, well, your gorgeousness makes the photos. So there's that. Winky face.
For somebody who a moment ago just called the lady a racist, that's very friendly.
A little thirsty, are we, Professor?
He's a man.
And then finally, Nancy Mace just had to
Red
sort of
blooded
go
like the rest of
completely,
us.
Finish the guy on X and publish this video of him actually asking for yet another photo with Nancy Mace before the CNN panel began. She tweeted this out, Michael Eric Dyson caught in 4K. And then here is the video.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We gotta revisit the funniest story of the week, okay? Because this story continues to get funnier and funnier and funnier. Because Michael Eric Dyson, who's a career race hustler, is...
Tell you what, it ain't great for that guy. He ain't having a great day.
Digging himself into a deeper and deeper and deeper hole after getting exposed, flirting, sliding in the DMs of GOP Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a deal if it weren't for the fact that just a few minutes earlier before sliding into this woman...
And this is the thing about a lot of the news media, what they present to us, aside from the fact that the stories in most cases are clearly not completely factual, what they, as the people presenting the information to us, as journalists present to us, is not, they're not really being, as they say, they're, I won't say best self, their honest self.
The race hustler was race hustling by calling Nancy Mace a racist, okay, in a very kind of roundabout way, but he basically was saying that she was racist for mispronouncing Kamala's name, which I think is hilarious because none of these people, including the race hustlers, pronounce Kamala's name correctly because Kamala is Indian, right? And her name is an Indian name. So it's pronounced in an Indian way, right? Only Indian people pronounce her name correctly because...
Look, I have a West African name, and since I was small, we've watered it down. I don't even pronounce it accurately. I don't even use my full long name. So that would be another form of gymnastics attempting to pronounce
Kamala Harris is Indian, right? So all of these black people who swear up and down that Kamala's black and that you're being racist if you mispronounce her name are also mispronouncing her name. Okay, that's like the irony here. So regardless.
Then again, I'm not no super hyped, important VP campaigning to be the next president of the United States. Not that it should make a difference. A name's a name.
This guy, he was basically accusing Nancy Mace of being a racist for mispronouncing Kamala's name, and then turns around and asks for pictures with the alleged racist, and then slides into her direct messages. Okay, her messages.
I think he likes her.
With the pictures, okay, flirting, saying, shh, don't tell anybody. We look good together. Laughing, kissy face, okay? And said that she was gorgeous as well, too. Okay, so this man is super thirsty, right? Somebody get this man some Gatorade, because clearly after meeting Nancy Mace, he got cotton mouth like a pothead. Okay, that's exactly what happened to this guy. And he's currently being roasted into oblivion because of the sheer hypocrisy of being a so-called pro-black.
He needs some ice to chill that roasting down a bit.
Race hustler who's always talking about white supremacy, white this, white that, white man evil, white man bad. Okay, white people don't love me right the way I want to be loved. And now all of a sudden, this guy, again, he's trying to get with a white woman. Now, not to mention he's a Baptist minister, allegedly, right? And he's married, okay? And it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of issues here, right? There's a lot of questions that people have about this, right? So he's getting a whole lot of backlash for this. And he's lashing out in the only way that a race hustler knows how to lash out, by basically boo-hoo-wine and crying racist.
That's a hard grind, race hustlers.
Right? It is racist and bigoted for Nancy Mace and others to call him out for trying to slide in her DMs after calling this woman a racist on national television. Take a look.
Hey, my friends, Michael Eric Dyson here. Just want to clear something up. A vicious untruth and rumor that's being spread by Congresswoman Nancy Mace, claiming I was trying to hit on her. So I'm trying to figure this out. So this is our complete text exchange that she says proves I was trying to hit on her. We were on CNN together. She was vicious. She was nasty. She refused to call Kamala Harris by her.
We all saw that clip. I wouldn't describe her as being vicious or even nasty, but you know, we see things through our own eyes and hear things through our own ears. And he's backed into a corner, so he has to come out fists flying, verbally speaking.
Right name. We had a bitter exchange about that. She claims in the interview that I called her racist when I went out of my way to say she wasn't a racist. I said, you're a wonderful woman. But let me say this to you, because I know you probably didn't understand this or mean it. But when you call Kamala Harris out of her name, that is perpetuating a legacy of inequality and of white subordination of black people. Oh, so you called me a racist? No, I didn't. So she's looking for some reason to try to exploit the situation. This is the text exchange. I sent her, Abby Phillip, the host of the show, suggested we take pictures. I said, let's take a picture. She said, Abby said, when you post it, then tag me too, and then we'll have fun. Because the whole point was two bipolar opposites, Michael Eric Dyson on one side, Nancy Mace on the other. So I sent her, and she said, great pic. And I said, shh. Don't tell anybody, we look good together, with a laughing face and a kissy face. And my point was, shh, don't tell anybody, because we are bipolar opposites. You're on one side of the spectrum and I'm on the other side of the spectrum. And she said, ha, 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 ha. And I said, well, your gorgeousness makes the photo, so there's that. And a little smiley face. Again, I'm just saying that trying to be nice to her in the belief and the effort that if I'm nice to her and I prove that we don't have any bitter consequences from our fracas on television, that we can be
right. That's fair. If that's actually what took place.
Relatively kind to each other, and I'm being nice to her. There's no hitting on you. Your attempt is sad and sorry, but your bigoted, racist attempt will not succeed. Ain't nobody trying to holler at you. And if you're that desperate that you need a black man to holler at you, I'm not the one to do it. There are plenty on your side who can do that, ma'am, but you got the wrong brother in me. Again, vicious, misleading, lying, distorting, and trying to pretend as if somebody's trying to holler at you when that's the furthest thing from my mind. My mistake was being gracious to you, of trying to say, oh my God, we are opposites, but we can still be gracious to one another. I can still compliment you. I can still say nice things to you. There was no attempt to do anything but to be gracious to you. But you have proved to be what I said you weren't. A vicious white supremacist racist who is incapable of accepting the generosity and kindness of a black man.
Damn, I didn't realize he went on for so long. Sorry, folks, I would have fast forwarded it.
You are a sorry, sick soul.
I know.
Bro, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. This story is so hilarious to me. It is so funny.
Make it up.
Okay, and the reason why is because everybody knows this dude is full of it. He's full of it. And all this splating is just lame to me, right? Because that's what this dude
just ain't his finest hour.
Just do it. He's splaining, right? This is what they call it. Splaining. When you're splaining, you're losing. Okay, when you have to explain what happened, right? When everybody can clearly see what happened, bruh, you're done, right? You're done. Okay? Just come out and tell the truth. Tell the truth. The truth is that you like white women, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with so-called snow bunnies, right? This is what the race hustlers like to call white women, right? Snow bunnies. There's nothing wrong with that. But pretending like you don't like vanilla frosting, it's just lame to me. It really is, right? This is the type of dude that will put on a Klan hood to clap them cheeks and then turn around and point the finger at you and say you're racist for calling him out, right? Because I'm telling you, there's no doubt about me.
Tell you what, Greg Foreman, when he makes his comments and he lays in, he don't take no prisoners. He's harsh.
He'll do anything to get with a white woman like Nancy Mace, right? That's his dream woman, right? This is why he was trying so hard. This is why he's so thirsty. I mean, just look at the
and he's very observant as well with these stories.
Body language in the hand placement, right? I mean, this dude clearly got her pulled in, tugged tight, close to his body, right?
Man, they look like good friends. If I showed you this and then showed you the argument afterwards, you'll think they were a couple or something breaking up. But don't make sense in reverse. They were definitely more friendly off cam than on that panel show.
He should change his name to Michael Copperfield because that's what he was doing. He definitely was trying to Copperfield on Nancy Mace. I mean, come on, brother. Come on, man. Okay, and then you drop the kissy faces. Come on. This is classic flirting, okay? This is what all dudes do.
What does that say? Ha, ha, ha. They were having some bonding.
Right? And she gave the same response that all the women give when they're not really that interested, right? The one-word response, ah, ha, 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 right? This is a classic scenario, right? Everybody know what's going on here, okay? So, again, it's just a bad look to come out here to boohoo and cry racism because even the left, even people on the left are roasting this man up for crying racism after getting caught trying to get with a white woman.
Also, really don't trust anyone. Like Michael Eric Dyson, are you nuts? Like,
and that's TYT. They usually back in these race special, learned professors and race grifters. Not today.
Sending flirty texts to like a Republican politician who's constantly thirsty for the spotlight. She's going to use that for the spotlight. Of course. I mean, that is super.
She's going to use it. She did use it.
Super naive to do that. I can't believe he did that. Now, finally, you get to the really interesting question. If you think someone is racist, is it still okay to try to hook up with them?
Ooh. No. Depends on what your kink is. I mean, he said this in his defense. He said the ridiculous lies told by Nancy Mace in the effort to smear my name because of her anger at being checked for her insensitive disregard for the VP. I had no intent with her to do anything but be nice, and her white women's tears and mendacity are all in the service of lies and distortion. I was wrong about one thing. She is a bigot and a racist. So
mendacity, don't hear that word very often.
No, but that one, it feels truer to me. Here's my thing about this. I had no intent with her to do anything but be nice. Come on.
No.
So maybe he could just be a nice dude.
Buying it.
Come on.
Okay.
First of all, there's just no way. Like that text, okay, wanting to take 2 photos with her, then calling her like, I think you're a very nice woman, and kind of
Right. He likes selfies.
almost touching her in that panel. I don't know if you saw, I've seen it a lot of times.
Yeah, I did notice that.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm not trying to support him or anything like that. But you know, there's always one side to a 2 sides to a story. Some say 3.
Touching her, and then saying, you know, we look good together, kissy emoji, and then your gorgeousness helps, winky face. Bro, you are clearly trying to spit game.
Everyone knows what that is.
Clearly.
He's going in at that point.
Yeah. Every woman had seen that before. Maybe not even women. Like people have seen, we know what that is. We know what that language is. We know what you wanted. And it's very easy to send those messages.
He was going in, but she weren't going in with him by the look of it.
And be like, that's
Definitely by the way it's turned out.
not what I meant. Okay. If you say so.
But it's just so embarrassing also to be put on blast. Like if it was just someone you just called basically a racist, they're like, yeah, but she could get it. Like, come on.
But I don't like that tweet he did at that. I mean, I know he's embarrassed, and she shouldn't have called him out like that publicly. I think that's totally wrong. But that the white women's tears, what are you getting into her race for? You're the one who's hitting on her.
I mean, with me, the jury's out on that one. I think it's very harsh the way she went about it, although I'm not coming down on any particular side at the moment.
Now all of a sudden she's back to a racist and a bigot, etc. So I didn't like that tweet at all.
Yeah, it's also weird because it's like, what if she was receptive to your advances? Then what? You know what I mean? Like,
if she was receptive.
Then at that point, it becomes scandalous.
We wouldn't be having this conversation, 100%. Right? She wouldn't have leaked anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, completely embarrassing, right? It is embarrassing when the left is roasting you for boohoo whining, crying racism, okay, after getting caught being thirsty as hell, okay, for a white woman, despite, you know, somebody that claims to be, you know, so pro-black, right? He loved these black women, right? He loved these sisters so much, right? But
so he says.
Yeah, even in the comment section of his video, this man's getting toasted. This guy says, nah, player, you in her DMs calling her gorgeous.
Roasted, toasted. It ain't a good weekend for him.
With emojis. You married, brother. Take this L. Facts. Keep boycotting. Doesn't matter what he says because he's whatever, right?
Take it and move on.
Brother, you were flirting with that woman. There was no need to text her about anything. Every reasonable thinking woman would have read that the same way, white or black. Facts. It's 2024, my brother. Quote, gorgeous, and the kissy smiley face will be taken out of context. 2 things can be true. You were trying to be nice. You were flirting with her. Not a good look, brother.
Look, there's guys out there who've said less as a compliment and it's been misconstrued. 2024.
This person says, oh, come on, really? Just about every woman in America would interpret it the way she did. So if you didn't want her to make an interpretation, you shouldn't have even sent her a message. In the political climate we're in, why give anyone ammunition to fire at you? Sorry, but I'm just not buying it. But that's just my own opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think this person is right in the sense that he should not have even asked for her number. I mean, let's keep it 100. If you're one of these people that claim to be so pro-black, right, so pro-fighting against white supremacy and how white people are so evil, and you literally accuse Nancy Mace of being one of these evil white people on national television, why would you want to take a picture with her, right? Basically, you're showing that you want to unify with people that you think are white.
True point.
Supremacists. It doesn't make sense, right? But again, this is the typical thought process of these race hustlers, right? I try to tell you, these are the same people begging for reparations, but yet saying that the white man got his boot on my neck, right? The white man trying to hold me down, okay? They hate black people, but yet you think the white man's going to give you a check? It doesn't make sense. None of this stuff makes sense.
No sense.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what these people really want to do, this is the only thing that actually makes it make sense. They secretly love white people, right? And
I mean, it makes so little sense. You can call it no sense turning into nonsense. Trust me.
They're upset that white people don't love them the way that they feel that white people should be loving them, right? So if white people are not giving them the red carpet treatment, right? If they are not bending over backwards and worshiping at the altar of black people, right? Basically asking for forgiveness for all of their sins, right? Of the whole race. Then these people get offended and upset, right? This is why they don't want to leave. They don't want to go nowhere. This is why they don't want to go to Africa or places with less white people. They want to stay around white people no matter what. This is why white people aren't allowed to segregate themselves from black people, but black people are allowed to segregate themselves from whites, okay? When black people segregate themselves from whites, it's totally fine. It's totally okay, right? We just need our space away from you, right? We just need to get away from you for a little bit, right? That's totally fine, totally acceptable. But when white people say, hey, we need to get away from the blacks, right? We need our own space, okay? We need our own communities or whatever. Nah, that's racism, right? That's segregation. That's unacceptable. Again, how does that work, right? How does that work?
Exactly.
Okay, it only works when you understand the psychology of these individuals, right? They really, really, really want love and acceptance from whites. That's what they want. And if they don't get it the way they want it, then they lash out in anger, right? But they really don't want to leave though, right? They don't want to leave this abusive relationship that they claim that they're in, right? It's extremely messed up to think about. But this is what it is, right? This person says, you looking like Kamala Harris.
Don't be lashing out in anger. It's ungameful behavior. Doesn't benefit.
With all that word salad, men, y'all need to stop telling women that
you're the receiver of the lashing out.
Is not your wife gorgeous? Kissy smiley faces. Those sentiments should only be meant for your wife, period. It leaves the door open, even though your intentions may be honorable. It's side-eyeing. Nah, bro, you violated. You were flirting, bro.
Sure is.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can see what was happening here. Right? I mean, every dude been through this, okay? We all know what's going on here, okay? And again, I think the funniest part about it is this dude is trying to deny what is obvious to everybody, right? Everybody can see it. You just got exposed, man. And I think
he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Just take the L, as Greg said. Keep it moving.
Honestly, you should just own up to it. I'll respect it more if you just say, yeah, hey, what can I say? Nancy Mace, she's gorgeous, right? I mean, who else wouldn't try, right? I shot my shot, and I missed, and that's just what it was.
He may have thought it was on the plate. I don't begrudge him for that.
Right? I would respect that more than whatever he's doing right now. Boohoo, whine, and cry racism as a way to deflect criticism. This is probably the most clear example of how these people weaponize the race card to deflect criticism because, again, dude, you got caught. Instead of just owning up to it, you just want to boohoo, whine, and cry racism because you don't want people to criticize you. And it's...
My bad. Keep it moving.
Again, it's just not a good look. When the left, when they're criticizing you, when they're mocking you for playing the race card, then you know you effed up, right? And this dude definitely effed up in this situation. Again, I wonder what his wife thinks about this. Okay, he's a Baptist minister. Not a good look. Not a good look. But again, this is very consistent with what I tell you guys about these so-called pro-black race hustlers. They really, really, really want that love and acceptance.
Yeah, the dude specializes in race and racial subject matters, racial politics and the like, so he didn't really want to be seen in this light.
They want that hug from white people, and they lash out when they don't get that hug, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, that made a lot of sense. Thank you. Shout out to Greg Foreman, Black Conservative Perspective. And I think that was, I don't know if you can go as far as calling it a scandal, but it was definitely food for thought. Thank you again for sharing some time with me here at CornerSpeak. Again, be good, be safe, be creative. CornerSpeak, we out.